As far back as I can remember, I have always been fascinated by dinosaurs. When I saw them on TV or read about them in books, I was captivated by their size, strength, and power.
How do we know that dinosaurs existed? Abundant evidence of these fascinating creatures has been preserved in the rocks.
I'm Andrew DeJesus.
And I'm Lauren Vagley, and we will be your hosts as we explore dinosaurs from a biblical perspective.
People have been finding evidence for the existence of dinosaurs for hundreds, even thousands of years.
Ancient people who are thought to have lived at least several thousand years ago in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia apparently found bits of dinosaur eggshells, drilled neat round holes through them, and wore them as jewelry.
Even though dinosaurs were not recognized as a separate subclass of reptiles until the 1840s, many dinosaur fossils were found before then. They were often, understandably, misinterpreted.
In 1677, Robert Plot discovered part of a very large femur in England. Although he didn't know what it was at the time, scientists now believe it was part of a megalosaurus.
Several other discoveries of dinosaur bones and teeth were documented during the 17th century, but they have since been lost.
In the same year that the U.S. Constitution was adopted, the earliest documented dinosaur bone discovered in North America was found. It was a large thigh bone, perhaps from a hadrosaur, that was found in New Jersey.
A few years later, in the early 1800s, Lewis and Clark reported in their journal their discovery of a large rib in a cliff near Billings, Montana. At the time, they thought it belonged to a huge fish, but scientists now believe it was a dinosaur bone.
Misinterpretations of these early dinosaur discoveries are understandable because scientists didn't know yet what dinosaurs were.
The first well-documented, scientifically described dinosaur bone that still survives was found in 1815 in Stonesfield, Oxfordshire, England. It was discovered in a quarry where stone was being mined for roofing. A number of years later, the Reverend William Buckland described the bone and gave it the name Megalosaurus.
Since then, thousands of dinosaur fossils representing several hundred species have been found, some on every continent around the world.
From these fossils, scientists can estimate the size and shape of the dinosaurs. One of the most well-known dinosaurs is Tyrannosaurus rex. It would have been 40 to 50 feet long, 20 feet tall, and weighed as much as 6 tons. That's as long as a school bus and twice as tall. But T-Rex doesn't even come close to being the biggest dinosaur.
Brachiosaurus was the length of 2 school buses and as tall as a 4-story building. Others, like Supersaurus, Seismosaurus, and Argentinosaurus, are all thought to have been about as long as 3 school buses. Just one vertebrae of Argentinosaurus is over 4 feet long. Sauroposeidon was probably the tallest dinosaur. Its neck alone was nearly 40 feet long.
But not all dinosaurs were huge. Many were the size of elephants or hippos. Still others were the size of a large dog or wild turkey. Some were even smaller. Compsognathus was about the size of a chicken, weighing only 6 or 7 pounds. Among the smallest of the dinosaurs were the Microraptors, some of which have feathers preserved. Some dinosaurs are known from just a few bones. In the almost 200 years since Buckland's discovery, Megalosaurus is still known only from fragmentary remains. But in other cases, near-complete skeletons have been found. About 15 good skeletons of T-Rex have been found, and 2 of them are nearly complete.
Sometimes, skeletons of well-preserved individual dinosaurs are found, but other times, the bones of many dinosaurs are jumbled together. In addition to preserved dinosaur bones, fossilized teeth provide us important information about the different kinds of dinosaurs and what they may have eaten.
Not long after Buckland described the Megalosaurus bone, a man named Gideon Mantell found a tooth that resembled an iguana tooth. It was named Iguanodon, which means iguana tooth. Iguanodon was later determined to be a dinosaur. Even though it was named from just the single tooth, numerous Iguanodon skeletons have been found since.
Because teeth are harder than bone, they are more resistant to breakdown. Many fossilized dinosaur teeth have been found. Some species were known only from teeth. Here's an example of a single tooth from Tyrannosaurus rex. Like alligators and crocodiles, dinosaurs had teeth that were constantly being replaced. The smaller teeth are new teeth coming in that have pushed the bigger teeth out. The largest tooth is the oldest tooth.
From teeth, we can learn about eating habits. Some ate meat and appeared to have been vicious. Others were vegetarians. Meat eaters have slender, knife-shaped blades with serrated edges for slicing and dicing. Vegetarians tend to have more square-shaped teeth with flat chewing surfaces and ridges going across the tops for grinding.
In addition to bones and teeth, other evidences have been found for the existence of dinosaurs, including preserved fossil tracks. Dinosaur tracks have been found in over 1,000 locations all over the world, with more being discovered all the time.
The first authenticated discovery of dinosaur tracks, although the term dinosaur would not be invented for 40 more years, happened in 1802. A Massachusetts farm boy discovered a slab of sandstone containing 5 small footprints that were 3-toed like a bird. He used the slab as a doorstep. Although everyone thought that they were bird tracks, they were later recognized as dinosaur tracks.
The Connecticut River Valley contains many preserved footprints. The first dinosaur tracks to be scientifically described were studied by a college president named Edward Hitchcock in the late 1830s. If you travel to Holyoke, Massachusetts, you can still see more than 130 tracks in slabs of sandstone.
From fossilized tracks, we can tell whether the dinosaurs that made the tracks were walking on 2 legs or 4. And scientists can even estimate the speed at which they were going.
From the bones, scientists can reconstruct dinosaurs quite accurately. But is it possible to know what their skin looked like?
Scientists have found preserved skin impressions that show some dinosaurs had round or polygon-shaped plates or scales. Others had thick and wrinkled skin with bony knobs or bumps.
A few extremely rare mummified dinosaurs have even been found with preserved soft tissues. One, nicknamed Leonardo, has a fossilized skeleton covered with fossilized skin, scales, muscles, and foot pads. His last meal was even preserved in his stomach. As you can imagine, fossilized dinosaur eggs are found much less frequently than teeth or bones.
Dinosaur egg fossils were found for the first time in France in 1859, but they were mistaken for giant bird eggs. Since then, thousands of dinosaur egg fossils have been found at almost 200 sites around the world. They have been found on every continent except Australia and Antarctica.
The first specimens to be recognized immediately as dinosaur eggs were discovered in 1923 in Mongolia. 25 eggs were found, 2 of which were broken open, exposing skeletons of embryonic dinosaurs.
Scientists from Southern Adventist University and Geoscience Research Institute have conducted studies on dinosaur egg-bearing sites from North America and South America.
Some paleontologists even find fossilized dung. These pieces of preserved poop are called coprolites, and they can provide clues about what dinosaurs ate. One coprolite that is thought to have come from a T-Rex was 17 inches long and 6 inches thick.
There is even evidence in dinosaur fossils for bone disease and injuries in the process of being healed.
Rarely, bones have been found with the broken tips of the teeth from a predator like T-Rex embedded in the bone.
Let's review what we have learned so far. The bones, teeth, tracks, eggs, and other interesting things we learned about are observable data.
Because scientists didn't really know what dinosaurs were yet, some of the early dinosaur discoveries were misinterpreted. Since then, scientists have developed a very definite set of criteria to identify fossils as dinosaurs. In the next section, we will look at some of the criteria for determining whether a fossil is a dinosaur or not.